What if I told you that one of the most overlooked, and honestly, most avoided, fruits in America could quietly support your circulation, protect your heart, and help keep your arteries flexible as you age? And yet, most people over 50 either ignore it or say they don't like it. Stay with me, because this might completely change how you look at your next grocery trip. Hello, I'm Dr. Emily. I've been practicing medicine for over 25 years, working closely with adults over 40, 50, and 60 who want to protect their heart, balance their blood sugar, and stay strong as they age. Over the years, I've seen one simple dietary shift make a measurable difference in circulation markers, inflammation levels, and even arterial flexibility. And surprisingly, it involves a fruit that many people say they dislike. That fruit is pomegranate. Now, before you scroll away thinking about the mess, the seeds, or the tart taste, let me explain why this fruit has earned my attention as a physician. As we age, our arteries naturally become stiffer. This process is called arterial stiffness. It reduces blood flow efficiency and increases strain on the heart. Over time, that stiffness contributes to high blood pressure, plaque buildup, and reduced circulation, especially in adults over 50. What makes pomegranate different is its concentration of powerful plant compounds called polyphenols, especially punicolagins and anthocyanins. These compounds are known for their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. And here's where it gets interesting. In multiple clinical observations, regular pomegranate consumption has been associated with improved endothelial function. The endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessels. When it's healthy, your arteries relax and expand more easily. When it's inflamed or damaged, blood flow becomes restricted. Think of your arteries like flexible garden hoses. When you're younger, they're soft and elastic. As you age, they can become stiff and narrow. Pomegranate appears to help support that elasticity, not magically, not overnight, but gradually through reduced oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is one of the biggest silent drivers of arterial aging. Another reason this fruit matters is nitric oxide support. Nitric oxide is a molecule your body produces that helps blood vessels relax. As we get older, nitric oxide production declines. Certain compounds in pomegranate may help preserve nitric oxide availability, supporting smoother circulation. That's one reason why I often discuss this fruit with patients concerned about blood pressure or circulation. Now, let's be clear. Pomegranate is not a cure. It doesn't replace medication. It doesn't dissolve plaque instantly. But as part of a consistent heart-supportive lifestyle, it can be powerful. And here's what I've seen in practice. When patients incorporate half a cup of fresh pomegranate arils or a small glass of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice daily, combined with a balanced diet, we often see improvements in inflammatory markers over time. Not dramatic overnight transformations, but measurable, steady progress. And that's how real heart protection works. Small daily decisions, repeated consistently. Many seniors tell me they avoid pomegranate because it's inconvenient, the seeds are messy, the juice stains, it's slightly tart. But sometimes the foods we avoid are exactly the ones our arteries would benefit from most. If you're over 50, especially over 60, circulation matters more than ever. Blood flow affects your heart, brain, muscles, and even energy levels. And supporting your arteries doesn't require extreme diets or expensive supplements. Sometimes it starts with something as simple as a fruit most people walk past in the produce aisle. That's why I call it the most underrated, and yes, often most disliked, fruit for arterial support. Because what you eat daily quietly shapes how your arteries function over time. Now let's go a little deeper into why pomegranate stands out, especially for adults over 50 and 60. When we talk about heart health, most people focus only on cholesterol. But cholesterol is only part of the story. Inflammation, oxidative stress, blood vessel flexibility, and blood pressure regulation all play major roles. And this is where pomegranate becomes interesting from a clinical perspective. Pomegranate is rich in antioxidants, particularly punicalagins, which are among the most potent antioxidants found in any fruit. Antioxidants help neutralize free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that damage cells, including the cells lining your arteries. When arterial walls are repeatedly exposed to oxidative stress, tiny injuries occur. Over time, those injuries contribute to plaque buildup and stiffening. By reducing oxidative stress, pomegranate helps support the natural repair processes of the blood vessel lining. Another benefit that's often overlooked is its effect on systolic blood pressure. In several clinical settings, regular pomegranate juice consumption has been associated with modest reductions in systolic blood pressure. We're not talking about replacing blood pressure medication. We're talking about supporting the body's natural regulation systems. And even a small drop in systolic pressure, 4 to 5 points, can significantly reduce long-term cardiovascular risk. For adults over 60, that matters. Let's also talk about LDL oxidation. LDL cholesterol becomes dangerous primarily when it oxidizes. Oxidized LDL is more likely to contribute to plaque formation. The polyphenols in pomegranate may help reduce LDL oxidation, which supports healthier arteries over time. This is one reason why I prefer food-based strategies alongside medical treatment when appropriate. Food works slowly, but it works consistently. I've had patients in their late 50s and early 60s who were already on statins, already watching sodium intake, already exercising, but still had elevated inflammatory markers. When we added a daily serving of antioxidant-rich foods like pomegranate, berries, leafy greens, we saw incremental improvements. Again, not magic, but measurable progress. And that's what sustainable heart health looks like. Now let's address an important question. Who should be cautious with pomegranate? This is critical for credibility and safety. If you are on blood thinners like warfarin or certain blood pressure medications, you should always speak with your physician before consuming concentrated pomegranate juice regularly. Pomegranate can have mild interactions with certain medications because of how it affects liver enzyme metabolism, similar to grapefruit, although typically less pronounced. This doesn't mean it's dangerous. It means it should be used intelligently. Also, if you have diabetes or insulin resistance, avoid sweetened pomegranate juices. Many commercial versions are loaded with added sugars, which completely cancel out the benefits. If you choose juice, choose 100% pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice and keep portions moderate. For blood sugar balance, I often recommend pairing pomegranate arils with protein or healthy fats, like plain Greek yogurt or a handful of nuts, to reduce glucose spikes, because heart health and blood sugar control are deeply connected. Chronically elevated blood sugar damages the endothelium, the same delicate lining of your arteries we're trying to protect. So the goal is synergy: anti-inflammatory foods, stable blood sugar, healthy fats, adequate sleep, moderate exercise. Pomegranate is one tool in that larger strategy. And here's something most people don't realize: circulation affects more than just your heart. It affects brain clarity. It affects muscle oxygenation. It even affects energy levels. When circulation improves, tissues receive oxygen more efficiently. That can translate into better stamina and cognitive support as we age. This is why I focus so much on vascular health in my patients over 50. Because once arterial stiffness sets in significantly, reversing it becomes much harder. Prevention is always easier than repair, and prevention doesn't start at 75. It starts now. One fruit alone will not override a poor lifestyle, but consistent, intelligent dietary choices create cumulative protection. If you're someone who avoids pomegranate because it's inconvenient, consider buying prepackaged arils. They're widely available in U.S. grocery stores and remove the hassle. If you dislike the tart taste, mix a small amount into a smoothie with unsweetened almond milk and protein powder. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. And when I look at the overall risk to benefit profile for most healthy adults over 50, pomegranate in reasonable amounts is one of the simplest additions that supports arterial resilience. Most hated? Maybe. Most underrated for circulation support? Absolutely. So now the real question becomes, how do you actually use this fruit in a way that supports your arteries without overcomplicating your life? Let's make this simple. If you're over 50, over 60, and thinking about your heart circulation or blood pressure, here's a practical approach. Option 1, half a cup of fresh pomegranate arils 3 to 5 times per week. Option 2, 4 ounces, that's about half a small glass, of 100% pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice once daily. That's it. Not a gallon, not a detox cleanse, not an extreme protocol. Consistency beats intensity. And here's what I tell my patients. Don't think of this as a miracle fruit. Think of it as arterial maintenance. Just like you brush your teeth daily to protect your gums, you nourish your blood vessels daily to protect your circulation. Now, who benefits the most from adding pomegranate strategically? Adults with borderline high blood pressure, individuals with elevated LDL cholesterol, people with a family history of heart disease, adults over 60 experiencing reduced stamina or early vascular stiffness, and those who simply want to age with stronger cardiovascular resilience. But remember, pomegranate works best as part of a vascular supportive lifestyle. That includes walking at least 20 to 30 minutes most days of the week, prioritizing sleep, managing stress, eating adequate protein, reducing ultra-processed foods, because inflammation doesn't come from one source and protection doesn't come from one solution. I want to speak directly for a moment, not just as a physician, but as someone who has cared for aging parents. When you watch your parents age, or when you begin to feel your own energy shift in your 50s and 60s, heart health becomes personal. You start thinking about independence, mobility, clarity of mind, longevity, but not just living longer, living stronger. And strong circulation is foundational to that. When arteries remain flexible, the heart doesn't have to strain as hard. When blood flows efficiently, organs function better. When inflammation is controlled, aging slows at the cellular level. These are not dramatic overnight transformations. They are quiet biological advantages that accumulate year after year. And that's why I emphasize simple, repeatable actions, not fear-based messaging, not extreme claims, just science-backed habits. If you've avoided pomegranate in the past because it was inconvenient, consider this your invitation to rethink it. Not because it's trendy, but because your arteries deserve support. And here's something else important. If you're currently under medical care for heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes, continue working with your physician. Food supports medicine. It does not replace professional care. Your safety always comes first. But if you're looking for a simple, natural way to strengthen your vascular foundation, this so-called most hated fruit might deserve a second chance in your kitchen. Your arteries don't care about convenience. They respond to consistency. And consistency builds protection. If you found this guidance helpful, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. I share evidence-based, senior-focused strategies designed to support heart health, stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and help you stay strong and independent as you age. My goal after 25 years in medicine is simple: to give you practical tools you can use every day, because your health is not defined by your age. It's defined by your daily decisions. Start small, stay consistent, and give your heart and your arteries the support they deserve.